Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at each individual life path forecast for the month of April 2023. Before we get into the forecast, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own numerology, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at April real quick. So April 2023 is a 2 universal cycle. And what that means is that universally, collectively, we will all be feeling the influences of this 2 energy. So what this could bring about is the need for balance, things coming to the surface that are out of balance, whether that's body, mind, spirit, or with relationships, things that have just felt out of alignment, coming to the surface for review to bring back into alignment at this time, or at least start that process, right? This energy is also asking us to become the observer, to stand back and really not get too emotionally invested in a situation that we don't need to be emotionally invested in, but rather take a step back, take a look through a broader lens and see, are we thinking too rigidly about something? Are we overly invested in something? Are we overextending ourselves in a situation that we don't need to be? Or again, are we overly involved in a situation that we don't need to be, which is therefore leading to resentment or frustration or stagnate, whatever, right? Whatever being overly involved or being too immersed in the situation, if it's causing imbalance, then again, this is going to be a month where standing back, being the observer, seeing things from a broader lens will benefit us. This energy will also ask us to be more decisive and discerning in who we choose to invest our energy into, what that looks like, what we will compromise with, and again, making decisions. So there may be events this month collectively where things come in and we need to make a quick decision, and it doesn't really necessarily give us time to second guess ourselves or to weigh the pros and cons. We have to trust our own internal guidance system and the information that we have that's presented to us and make a decision. And then once we make that decision, we have to give ourselves grace to understand that in that moment, that was what we needed for ourselves. And so again, deal with the consequences as they come up from that decision. Maybe make different decisions moving forward if you need to, but don't beat yourself up about it, right? Trust yourself and trust that the decision that you make in that moment is what is best for you in that moment, right? And all involved. This can also be about channeling charged emotions. So the 2 energy can sometimes bring intense emotions or deep emotions, so to kind of be moved through. So it can be a charged energy, right? And so you might find that you're easily triggered over something, or that you feel deep emotions about something. This is a month where emotions could be coming in very strongly. And so sit with them, move through them, work with them, honor them, but be mindful of how you express them, right? If you become overly agitated or overly aggressive or something like that over a situation, that's going to influence, if you're not in control of those emotions and that charged energy, that's going to potentially dictate whether you react or you respond to the situation, right? Which then will dictate the experience that follows. So this month is really asking us to get in more awareness when it comes to our emotions, and as well as how we want to work with those emotions and that charged energy, because emotions are life, right? We are feeling beings. We are meant to feel emotions. It's what we do with those emotions that makes the difference, that creates the experience. So this 2 energy coming in collectively is really going to be asking us to take a closer look at that and take responsibility for how we express those emotions, right? Not meant to avoid them, not meant to suppress them, none of that. We are emotive beings. We are meant to feel. So, but again, it's in the expression that makes the difference and that determines the experience. And so this month could bring up some things that might trigger us, that might force us to look at the emotions that sort of are more in control of us. so that we can get a greater handle on that and work with that energy, that charged energy, and channel it into something positive. This can also be a very highly sensitive month where things that might not have affected us in the past are a little bit more quick to bring about some kind of reaction, right? Or response. And so just pay attention to what's yours, what's not yours, because again, it's a highly sensitive period. And so we could be picking up on things emotionally or get a sense for things that affect our mood that may not even be ours to carry. And so just keep in mind that it is a highly sensitive period. So don't get too attached to what you're feeling, especially if it's not yours, right? And again, relationships could come into the focus this month. So mending or healing of relationships that are still meant to be a part of the journey. New connections coming in. So new soulmate connections, friends, family, pets type thing could definitely be coming in this month. And these are often relationships that are serving a greater purpose. So some kind of soul contract coming in potentially to assist us on our journey. So pay attention to the people that you meet, or again, the pets that come into your life at this time. We could uncover a new way of relating to others that serves us better and serves others better, right? So a new way of looking at relationships and how we relate to others could absolutely be coming in collectively this month. So again, pay attention to those people that come into your life or the people that resurface in your life and what they're trying to show you. What is their divinity trying to teach you, right? Through their own wisdom and through what they trigger within you type thing, or what they bring you that's beautiful, right? And so how we can learn to accept that beauty as well. That's a big part of relating as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at each individual life path number now for the month of April. Life path 6s. So I pulled an animal wisdom message for you all, and this could not be more aligned with the energy that you all are working with in April. This is so beautiful. I love this for 6s. So you all have rhinoceros coming through, and what immediately stands out is sort of like this ruthlessness. And so I love this for 6s because 6 energy, just by nature, just by default, is sort of like this very nurturing, caregiving, sort of people-pleasing type energy, you know, until they figure out sort of their balance and their healthy boundaries and all of that, right? So rhinoceros coming through for you all this month is very much asking you to stand in your power. It's giving you permission to be a little bit more ruthless, right? Like not taking it to extremes, which I have, I don't think that would be a problem for 6s, but it's sort of saying, and it's interesting because you all are also working with 8 energy this month, which I'll talk about. But this rhinoceros coming through is that 8 energy. It's like saying, you know what? It's okay to be, to be firm, to say no, to go after what you want without having to explain to people why that's okay for you. You know what I mean? To be a little bit more ruthless, to be a little bit more like, you know what? I'm going for this. This is what I want. You either are on board with me or you're not type thing. So it's really about like, it's sort of like, honestly, it reminds me of like Pluto energy, where it's like, it can kind of bring in the side of ourselves that is in there, or bring out the side of ourselves that's in there, but that maybe we've been shamed, it's been shamed out of us, or we're too afraid to be that assertive or whatever. So rhinoceros coming through is being like, no, you've got this. You want this, go for it. You don't owe anybody an explanation as long as you're not hurting self or others. You got this, go for it. And if that means that you have to say no to someone and their desires, that's okay, right? It's going to be uncomfortable, especially for a 6, but you'll figure it out. And rhinoceros is saying, yeah, if you want it, go for it type thing. So I love the ruthlessness that's kind of coming through, because I know that as a 6, you're probably not going to take that to extremes. And if you do, you're going to figure it out pretty quickly and move back into alignment. There's also this strong energy of rhinoceros with power, wealth coming through. And again, very 8 keynote energy, right? So I'm going to talk about that. But with rhinoceros, it's sort of this big, powerful, strong, grounded energy that's like, sees what it wants, figures out a plan and goes for it. And it doesn't always have to be about money or whatever, but it's like speaking up for what you need, speaking up for what you want, right? Compromise, not sacrifice. That's a big theme, especially for sixes. And rhinoceros is helping you to step into that energy of, okay, what have I been sacrificing that I'm not willing to sacrifice anymore? Can I still compromise? And what does that look like? And if you can't, then there comes the conversation, right? And to be a little bit more ruthless in going after what you need, going after what will meet your needs, right? Because it's only once our needs are met that we can meet the needs of others. So love this coming through. It also sort of encourages you, sixes, to, again, still show up in the way that, feels good for you, that's aligned with your sixth energy, but also brings in that energy of the one a little bit more, where it's like, you know what, this is what I need. And I need to honor that before I can honor what you need. It's a big theme for April for you all. So it can feel uncomfortable, as you're moving through that. But once you kind of flex that muscle and you keep doing it, it'll actually set you up to be in a place where moving forward, you sort of start taking all of that into account. Okay, what do I need? And what are my boundaries? And how does that work with what you need? And how can I show up in that way? So very powerful energy this month for you all, and standing in your power and getting, being empowered type thing, because through that you can help empower others. So again, for April, you all are working with 8 energy, very similar to rhinoceros energy, which is very much about status, power, wealth, resources, being very connected to your spiritual side and following those intuitive hits, right? Knowing when something is for you and when something's not for you, and then not saying yes out of obligation, but saying yes because it's truly coming from your heart and you want to show up in that way, right? The 8 energy could bring in a tremendous amount of like a big influx in resources, in money. You could see a lot of abundance come through for you this month. There's also the possibility, of course, because this is a general reading, but you could also see financial losses, and then you have to deal with that and figure that out and rebuild it in a way so that you can come back from that, right? Because 8 energy doesn't stay down very long. So once it, if it falls down type thing, if it were to lose resources or lose money, it's going to figure out pretty quickly what did not work, what did work, and what to build upon to make something work even better type thing. So this can be a month where you're really sort of forced to look at what's working with your finances, what's not working, what's working with the dynamics in your relationships. Does someone have power over you that really does not need to have power over you? Or vice versa? Is there a relationship where there's some higher level of control that doesn't need to be there and that really needs to be sort of teased out? The 8 energy is going to assist you in doing that. So again, it's this powerful energy of helping you find your voice, helping you to see where something is working and where it's not working when it comes to the physical things such as like status, again, power, resources, money, any of those things. Can also bring in great success when it comes to selling something, getting clients, running a business, seeing an increase in the business, or again, seeing what's not working with the business and then coming up with an action plan to make adjustments to do something different, right? But there's this very strong leadership energy and taking initiative energy when it comes to 8 energy. So very much about you're going to have to be at the helm. You're going to have to see whatever it is that you need to see, and then make adjustments accordingly, right? Or take action accordingly. And instead of getting sucked into, well, this isn't working, poor me, like I'm a failure, I didn't do this well enough, instead of falling into that more like victim mindset, seeing it as an 8 would, who is in their power, that is, okay, well, this didn't work. Why didn't it work? What are the reasons? What adjustments need to be made? It's not about it's not a personal failure or something doesn't work. It just means something didn't work. And so figuring out the why and then how to make adjustments. And so this can be a big month for you, sixes, in that, right? What's working? What's not working? What's my part in that? What can I do to make adjustments to make it work, or to help it to work out, right? Or to gain insight so that I can make further adjustments. With 8 energy, there's a lot of like taking risks. It's a big take risk kind of energy. So you may be asked to take risks when it comes to your relationships, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your money, any of those things. And you could see a great reward from that, right? A great abundance. But with taking risks, there's also the possibility that things won't work out, right? And there could be great losses. However, 8 energy does not stay down too long. So it's going to figure out, okay, this didn't work. What do I need to do to rebuild? So a lot of these themes coming in for you 6s. So this is a very masculine energy. 6 energy is more feminine. It's more, receptive, more nurturing, all of those things. 8 energy is, I see it, I want it, I'm going for it, I'm going to make it happen. And with Rhinoceros and 8 energy coming through for you all this month, this is a big month for taking initiative and making things happen. And we're also in Aries season. So, very much aligned with that as well. So love to see this for you 6s. Take advantage of it. There's no shame in going after what you want and building that. So go for it. You got this. I hope it's a great April for you all. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.